Imagine you have two English learners. The first learner studies English for 3 hours every day. He learns 50 new words. He watches 5 English videos. He reads 10 pages. He does many exercises. The second learner studies for only 30 minutes. He learns 5 new words. He listens to one short English story. He repeats a few sentences. And then he stops. After 1 month, who do you think will speak better English? The first learner? Maybe. But what if I told you that sometimes the second learner can make more progress? Sounds strange, right? We often think that more is always better. More words, more videos, more grammar, more hours, more exercises. But when it comes to learning English, there is an important question. Is quality more important than quantity?
Hello.
Where is context?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy English Real World. If you're learning English and sometimes feel that you are studying a lot but still don't see the progress you want, today's lesson may be very important for you. Because maybe the problem isn't that you don't study enough. Maybe the problem is how you study. Let's start with something simple. Imagine you learn 30 new English words today. You write them in your notebook. You look at them a few times. And tomorrow, you learn 30 more. Then another 30. After 1 week, you may have learned more than 200 words. That sounds amazing. But now imagine someone asks you a simple question. What did you do yesterday? You want to answer. You know many words, but you don't know how to use them. You think about the words. You try to remember them. And suddenly, your mind becomes empty. This happens to many English learners. They have a lot of information in their brains, but they don't have enough practice using that information. And this is where quality becomes important. Learning quality means that you don't just collect English. You use it. You understand it. You repeat it. You hear it. You say it. You connect it to your real life. For example, instead of learning 10 random words, you could learn 5 useful words that make simple sentences with them. Let's say you learn the word tired. Don't just memorize. Tired means feeling that you need to rest. Use it. I am tired. I'm tired after work. Today, I'm really tired. Now the word is connected to something real. You can imagine yourself saying it. You can hear it. You can repeat it. And because you use the word, your brain has a better chance of remembering it. This doesn't mean quantity is bad. Quantity is also important. You need to listen to a lot of English. You need to see many sentences. You need to practice regularly. You need to meet the same words again and again. The problem is when quantity becomes the only goal. For example, imagine you watch 10 English videos in 1 day, but you understand almost nothing. You don't repeat anything. You don't think about the sentences. You don't speak. You simply move from one video to another. Did you really practice English for 10 videos? Technically, yes, but maybe you didn't learn much. Now, imagine you watch one short video. You understand it. You listen to it twice. You repeat some sentences. You write down 3 useful expressions. Then you use those expressions in your own sentences. That one video may give you much more value. This is the difference between consuming English and practicing English. And it's a very important difference. Sometimes English learners spend hours watching content. They watch podcasts. They watch movies. They watch YouTube videos. But they don't actively use what they hear. They are consuming English like entertainment. And that's not necessarily bad. Listening to English for fun is useful. But if your goal is to improve speaking, you also need active practice. You need to stop sometimes. Repeat, think, speak. Use the sentence. For example, if you hear, I have never been there before, don't just continue listening. Pause. Say it. I have never been there before. Again and again. Then make it personal. I have never been to London before. Or I have never tried sushi before. Now, you are not just listening. You are using English. And that is quality practice. The same idea works with vocabulary. You don't need to learn 50 words every day. In fact, for many beginners, learning too many words can become stressful. You learn them today and forget many of them tomorrow. Instead, choose a small number of useful words, maybe 5. Then use those 5 words during the day. Say them, write them, listen for them. Make sentences with them. Try to use them when you speak. Now those words have a life. They are not just words in a notebook. They are part of your English. And this is something I want you to remember. Don't measure your English practice only by time. 30 minutes of active practice can be better than 2 hours of passive study. But there is another side to this idea. You also shouldn't become obsessed with perfection. Sometimes English learners hear quality and think, I need to understand every word. I need perfect pronunciation. I need perfect grammar. I need to repeat one sentence 100 times. No, that is not quality. Quality doesn't mean perfect. Quality means focused. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to speak perfectly. You simply need to pay attention and actively use what you are listening. Imagine you are listening to a simple English story. You understand 80%. That's okay. Choose 2 or 3 sentences from the story. Repeat them. Learn something from them. Then continue. Don't spend 30 minutes trying to understand one difficult sentence. Keep moving. Because English is a long journey. You need consistency. And this brings us to the most important point. Quality and quantity are not enemies. You actually need both. Think about exercise. If you go to the gym once and don't perfect workout, you won't become strong. You need good exercises. But you also need to do them regularly. English is the same. You need quality practice, but you also need enough repetition. One perfect English lesson once a month isn't enough. You need small, useful practice every day. Maybe you have only 20 minutes. That's completely fine. You could spend 5 minutes listening, 5 minutes shadowing, 5 minutes learning useful sentences, and 5 minutes speaking. That's only 20 minutes. But if you do it every day, those minutes become powerful. After 1 week, you have practice. After 1 month, you have built a habit. After several months, you may notice something different. English feels less difficult. Words come to your mind faster. You understand more. You speak with less fear. And you don't need to think about every sentence. That's real progress. So, the next time you study English, don't ask only, how many words did I learn? How many videos did I watch? Ask a different question. How much did I actually use? Did I speak? Did I repeat? Did I understand? If the answer is yes, your practice has quality. And remember the two learners from the beginning. One studies 3 hours but forgets most of what they learn. The other studies 30 minutes but listens carefully, repeats, speaks, and uses English every day. The second learner may slowly become the stronger speaker, not because they study more, but because they use what they study. So, don't try to learn everything. Learn something useful. Don't try to watch everything. Watch something you can understand. And don't worry if your practice looks small. 5 useful sentences today are better than 50 forgotten words tomorrow. One short story that you understand can be better than 5 difficult videos that you don't understand. So, from today, try a simple rule. Less but better. Choose quality first, then add quantity slowly. Listen every day. Speak every day. Repeat every day. And give your brain time to learn. Because learning English isn't a competition to see who can study the most. It's about building a skill, and skills grew through good practice. Repeat it again and again. Thank you so much for listening to today's lesson. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Easy English Real World. Now, I have a small challenge for you. Tell me in the comments, how many minutes do you practice English every day? Write your answer in English. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just write it. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.